Peace and blessings, everyone. It's I, Coach Ed, and welcome to Coach Ed's Amazing World of Sports. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, make sure you hit the subscription button and the notification button. This way, you'll know when I post new content, and always like every episode and share on social media. It'll help my channel continue to grow. This one is Are You Ready? Going to be talking about the Rutgers versus Michigan game today. Both teams came in 3-0, and it was a big test, especially for Rutgers, uh, to see where they stand and to compete against the number two ranked in the team in the country and to hopefully come away with the win. So I'm going to dive right into that right now. Unfortunately, Rutgers came out on the short end of the draw. They lost 31-7. Now, you may initially look at the score and say, "Oh, that was a blowout." Michigan covered the spread because they were favored by 24 points. But here's the thing: Rutgers was in this game for most of the night, most of the day. They really were. Now, when you want to break things down and you want to look at it, the biggest factor is Michigan outrushed Rutgers. They rushed for 201 yards, while Rutgers rushed for 77 yards. Now, Rutgers has been dominant up until this point in terms of the rush yards, so it just wasn't there today. They were a little bit more efficient in a sense in the passing attack. And when I say efficient, they gained more yards. They gained 180 yards. Last week, they only gained 40 plus yards. Now, they were 11 to 21, so, you know, the efficiency in the passing completions weren't always there. They also had one big interception that was returned for a touchdown. So those are some of the things that were a challenge for Rutgers. Now they did have a lead 7-0 early in the game, but they missed out on many of other opportunities, scoring opportunities, missed a field goal, driving and moving down the field and not being able to capitalize, being stopped on fourth downs. I mean, they were 0 for 3 on fourth downs, while Michigan was 2 of 2. Third down, they couldn't get off the field. They couldn't stay on the field, and they couldn't get off the field. They were Rutgers was 3 of 10 offensively on third downs, while Michigan was 8 of 13. Now, time of possession, Michigan held 36 minutes and 10 seconds, while Rutgers was 23 minutes and 50 seconds. First downs, Rutgers had 10, while Michigan had 20. So when you look at the stats, I would say they were dominated. But when I tell you in terms of the scoring, no. It was 14-7 at half. Now, the third quarter, Michigan did score 10 points, and in the fourth quarter, they scored 7. But again, like I said, one of those scores was an interception. Now, it was on fourth down, and workers lined up, and they actually went for a screen to the outside. But Michigan was in a press, and the receiver, Christian Dremel, who was supposed to block, he couldn't get there because of the press coverage. And the Michigan defender was up into our receiver and made a play on the ball and just snatched it and returned it for a 60 plus yard touchdown return. And that to me was the biggest factor that helped change the tide of the game. Now, I'm not saying if Michigan stopped them and didn't get the turnover that they wouldn't have gone down and scored. There is there is that possibility, but we don't know. The bottom line is Michigan took the interception and returned it. But again, Rutgers was in this game. Now, some members of the fan base are taking it as a moral victory. And I understand. I understand why. As a competitor, it hurts, but you want to go back, look at the film, and you want to get back to practice so you can improve yourself and get ready for your next opponent. Some will say, well, you're playing Wagner. Wagner is not a good program. Whatever. They're the next team that you play. And that's all you can focus on right now. Now, it is a tough loss. Even Coach Yano said there were some missed opportunities out there, but tip your hats off to Michigan. They did what they needed to do. They showed why they're one of the top teams in the country. Now, if you want to say that this is no longer the Rutgers of old, well, let's say that we're hopeful that they're going to be competitive and teams will know that when you play Rutgers, you're in it for a fight. It is not going to be an easy cakewalk. You have to scrap for the win. And for Rutgers, you have to know that you can compete. So go out there and continue to chop away, and the wins will come. So it's not a devastating loss. It's a tough loss. It does hurt, but on to the next one. So we'll be ready for Wagner. So that's it for this episode. Just wanted to touch base a little bit with that. And that's pretty much it. So, and like I always say in sports, make sure you turn it on and turn it up. Peace.